Okay, we're going to do 30 minutes of walking on a treadmill. So push your start button and you can straddle the bar. It makes it a little bit easier for the belt to start. And I'm gonna bump up the speed a little bit just to bring myself to a walk. Comfortable walk. This will be a warm-up. Going to do about 2 minutes of walking forward, and then maybe 1 minute of walking backwards, and then 1 minute of walking sideways, and then 1 minute of walking a different kind of sideways, which I call a crossover. That's the warm up, and that'll bring us up to 5 minutes. It's not quite fast enough. I'm going to go up to 2.2 miles per hour. Just be relaxed. We're going to stop after the 5 minutes and do a little bit of stretching for the knees. Great idea to stretch the knees when you're walking, or if you do especially a sport that's very strenuous. You have lots of quick starts and stops like hockey, soccer, tennis. So now we're at 120, and always trying to stay relaxed with the breathing. For those of you who have that fitness level, you can bring this up to a run. Everything I'm doing is possible to do it running. I generally don't do the stretching part. We're going to do some stretching after the initial 5 minutes. As I said earlier, we're going to be stretching the knees, but then we're also going to do some stretching while walking. I won't do the stretching when I'm running, and I won't have any weight while I'm running. So now we're at 2 minutes, and you can slow it down a little bit so you're comfortable, especially in the beginning. If this is your first time or your 5th time and it's still awkward to walk backwards, sorry about my back, but I don't have an assistant to move the camera. I do have a clock here, so I can see when the minute arrives. So right now it's about 25 seconds walking backwards. And as we did forwards, just try and keep relaxed, try and keep the spine straight up and down. And enjoy walking backwards. It's really convenient on a treadmill because I don't have to worry about an obstacle by way of a rock or a pine cone or even a dog or a child that's going to cross my path. It's great to do it outside. You just need to make sure that you're looking consistently when you're walking backwards. So now we're going to go sideways. I'm going to slow it down again so it's a comfortable warm-up. And we'll do 30 seconds with the right leg leading, and then I'll do 30 seconds with the left leg leading. There we go. When I'm doing this by myself, without the video, I don't generally use time. I'll use a number of count. I'll do 20 on one side, switch 20 on the other, or sometimes 50. I'm doing it with the clock this time to help with the video and everyone, because we all have a different cadence. We all walk differently. Here's the last one I want you to try. It's what I call the crossover. So left leg goes in front, left leg goes behind, the right leg is leading. And if you do lose your balance, you have these handles to grab onto. So there we're at the 30 seconds, switch sides. Same as the other walks, just try and stay relaxed. Try and stay gentle with your breathing. Spine is nice and straight, head is tall. Coming up to 5 minutes. And 5 seconds for 55. And let's pause. Okay, so now I want to show you some stretches for the knees. You're on your treadmill, you can stay on the treadmill. Put your hands just above your knees on the bottom part of your thighs and just do some circles with the knees to stretch the ligaments on all 4 sides of each knee. So that was 5 rotations. And then now do 5 rotations in the other direction. So I lost my screen, I lost that first 5 minutes, but it's okay. We can start over. And having done 25 minutes left, and do a very gentle push, very gentle, just to get the back knee ligaments. So starting up again, straddle, putting it up to 2 miles per hour, maybe 2.2. So now we're going to do a continuous 25 minutes, having done 5 minutes at the beginning. I wanted this to be a 30-minute video on the treadmill. Well, the video is going to be longer than 30 minutes. I was talking 30 minutes actually walking. So now let's start doing some stretching. Bring your arms above your head and just holding on to your elbows with your hands. Give a slight gentle push with the top of the head on the forearms. I feel a nice stretch right here. That's what we're going for. So that was about 30 seconds in the stretch. Arms back up, and now alternate. Whichever arm you had in front, now have that same arm behind. And we'll hold it for 30 seconds. Breathing nice and gentle. And releasing. Now, take your hands behind your back, arms are straight. You're interlacing the fingers. And straighten your arms and pull your chest and shoulders open. Beautiful stretch for the front part of the body to open up chest, shoulders, ribs. Now let's hold this for 30 seconds. We're almost there. 3, 2. Okay, and relax. Now the opposite stretch, hands are in front of you, and you're just pulling the hands forward to try and get some separation between the shoulder blades. Keeping the shoulders down, away from the ears, relaxed, and continuing to pull forward for 30 seconds. 3, 2, and relax. Okay, now a tricep stretch. We all know this one. If you have the flexibility to reach, I'll show you. My hands are connected. So let's hold this for 30 seconds. If you can't reach the hands at the back, you can use a towel. Some people use a towel at the fitness club, or you can use a rope. There's 30 seconds, gently releasing that arm that's behind you. Let it come down gentle, and let's switch. That transfer took 10 seconds. So we'll keep this for 30 seconds like the last side. And breathing deep into the belly. Trying to stay relaxed. And there's 30 seconds. So we'll just walk for 20 more seconds. That'll bring us to 4 minutes walking forward. And now we're going to do 4 minutes walking backwards. So I'm going to slow it down. I was at 2.2 walking forward. I'm going to go 2.0 to walk backwards. So let's repeat exactly what we did while we were walking forward. First one is right here. Holding this for 30 seconds. And releasing and putting the arms in the opposite direction for 30 seconds, gently pushing the top of the head against the arms. Spine is straight, trying to stay relaxed. Move around if you need to. Coming up to the first minute. Looking at the clock that's right there, and relax. Now I need to go forwards a little bit at the edge of the belt to do the first stretch for the chest and the shoulders. Nice deep breaths into the belly and into the ribs. Helps counteract the position that many people have in society today, which is with the shoulders rounded forward. So there's our 30 seconds. And now the opposite stretch, pointing forward, opening the muscle between the shoulder blades and the spine, keeping the shoulders away from the ears and relaxed. There's our 30 seconds. And then this one again, connecting with the hands if you can, otherwise use a towel. You can also use a belt or a tie or a piece of a hose or a rope. Trying to focus always on the breathing. We've reached the 30 seconds. Gently let that back arm come down. And switch the arms. You might find you have an imbalance between these arms. It can be due to lifestyle patterns. It can be due to an injury. Okay, so now that's the 30 seconds coming up, including the transfer time, transferring from one arm to the other. Okay, and let that back arm down slow and relax. And I think that was 3 minutes. So yeah, let's just walk here backwards for 30 seconds from now, and we'll get up to 8 minutes. Plus the 5 minutes of warm-up will be 13 minutes total. Eventually, when you're used to what we're doing, you won't need to listen to me speaking. You can put mute on this video, and you can choose your favorite music. Okay, so now we're going to go sideways. Same as before, I don't like to do stretching while I'm moving sideways. It's just not relaxing. So let's do basically exactly what we did during that first 5-minute warm-up phase. Let's do 30 seconds with the right leg leading. And we'll switch sides and do 30 seconds with the left leg leading. Using the treadmill in this way is beneficial because you can see and you can feel, if you're actually doing it, that the muscles you're using are different than what you would use by just walking forward. Let's repeat that. So in the effort of increasing level of fitness and strength of the muscles and agility and coordination, it's a great idea to do these different movements for the body, for the muscles. It also trains the brain. It's not so easy to go 30 seconds, switch sides. It's not so easy to go on autopilot as it is while we're walking forward. And you will eventually come to a rhythm, and you won't be doing the 30-second intervals as we're doing now. Or maybe you will. Maybe you'll like it. Let's do the crossover for 30 seconds with the right leg leading. Still trying to stay with the breathing. Coming up to 30 seconds, one more. Now, as I said earlier, you can definitely do this as a run, and you can definitely do this stuff outside. Many people in this country, because of the cold winter, as an example, they go for a walk at lunchtime in a parking lot because there's no snow in the parking lot. Switching again. So if you can do something like that, you can have the tools you need in your car and bring them out when you're doing this kind of walking. Also, if you have a route, a path that you follow outside, you can do this also outside. Before I found a path, part of the path opened up onto a river, and on that river, on the bank of that river were rocks. And I would choose a rock. I have a medicine ball here. We're almost at that phase. Okay, so there we go, 12 minutes. We had 4 forwards, 4 backwards, 2 minutes with the sideways, and then 2 minutes with the crossover. Let's just take 1 minute to reconfirm the forward walk, which is usually what everyone is most comfortable with. Because the next part I want to show you is carrying a weight above your head. And what happens with the weight above your head? First of all, the heart has to work harder because the heart now has to pump blood 1 meter against gravity, compared to if my arm is down here, arm being up here, the heart has to make the blood travel a lot farther. So pause, straddle, pick up your weight. You can use a dumbbell. Continue. I need to put the speed back up. You can use a dumbbell, you can use a kettlebell, you can use a medicine ball, you can use a barbell, and put the weight above your head. We'll do 30 seconds with each arm. If I'm doing this by myself, I won't look at the clock. I'll do 50 steps with the ball in each arm. So coming up to 30 seconds and switch. And so as I said, this is now forcing the heart to train harder because it has to pump blood to the tip of my fingertips which are now 1 meter above the heart, compared to if the hand is in its regular position, the heart gets to go with gravity. Okay, there's our 30 seconds. Now going backwards with the weight in the left arm for 30 seconds. And what's also happening is that the arm that has the weight, that whole side of your body has to work harder. Just double checking. I have my clock here. So there's our 30 seconds. So this whole section right here is now working harder than it would be if my arm was just straight down here. This whole section now gets engaged, and the opposite core also has to work because now there is an imbalance. 5 more seconds. Now there's an imbalance of weight. This core, this flank has to work. Let's put the ball back into the left hand as we go sideways, leading with the right foot. For 30 seconds with each side. So now we're 15.5 minutes plus the 5-minute warm-up, 20.5 minutes. For me, it just becomes way more enjoyable. There's our 30 seconds. And the half hour goes by a lot quicker. And you can still watch TV. There's tennis, CNN, a movie, Global, Bill Murray. I also have a mirror. There's our 30 seconds now with the crossover. Leading with my right foot, the ball's in my left hand. I'll also lead with my right foot and the ball in my right hand. There's different variations that you can choose once you're comfortable enough with this stuff, with these movements, if it's new for you. There's our 30 seconds. You might find that the sideways and the sideways crossover are not possible. I know for the past few months, my right knee wouldn't allow me. It would be too fragile, too vulnerable. There's our 30 seconds. Bring your arms down and let's just walk normal. For those of you who are doing this for the first time, there's a lot of impact. We're just going to walk for about a minute and then we'll do another series and then we'll be up to our 30 minutes. And we're doing 30 minutes, but you can repeat and do it again, 30 minutes, or you can just repeat some of the stuff we're doing to give yourself the amount of time you want on the treadmill. This stuff we're doing with the weight above your head, I'll do it once or twice a week because I like to give time for the muscles and the bones to recover. There's a fair bit of impact that's happening with this ring around your body, including the ribs. So there's our minute break. Now let's do both hands up. We'll do 30 seconds with both hands up. So now, as I mentioned, the heart having to work harder, now both hands are 1 meter above the heart, making the heart have to pump to both fingertips, to both hands and their fingertips. Coming up to 30 seconds. Now let's do tricep extensions for 30 seconds. So keeping the elbows as close together as possible and the biceps by the ears. Just hinging at the elbow, bending the elbow, bringing the weight behind your head to work the triceps, the muscle right here, for these 30 seconds. And we'll do the same thing walking backwards. So the first part was just with both hands carrying the weight. I can feel my heart rate much higher than when it started, which is the point of doing this cardiovascular exercise. And adding, sorry about that, I just have to make sure about the timing. Now the tricep extensions for 30 seconds. Almost. Okay, now we're going to go the sideways with both hands up. Yeah, good. So now we're at 20 minutes plus the 5-minute warm-up. That's 25 minutes. We got 5 more minutes left to complete 30 minutes of work on the treadmill. Much more beneficial than simply walking forward. Okay, good. 30 seconds on this side. You also want to try and be as gentle as possible with each step, so that you're not hearing a thundering every time you step. Be gentle. With this sideways crossover, you also want to make sure that the lead leg, you're not grinding it to rotate the knee. Put the weight on the ball of the foot or on the heel of the foot, not on both. Because you want the knee to have an easy time pivoting, rotating the foot. I can feel my arms now, my triceps. Trying to stay with my breathing. Coming up now to 27 minutes. Let's take another break. So we've got now 3 more minutes to complete the 30-minute treadmill exercise session. And I think I'll teach you the shoulder press. Before I actually lift the weight, there's Charlie's Angels on one of the screens, Houston Rockets. So the shoulder press, 2 ways to do it. One is keeping the elbow outside the body. The other is rotating the wrist, and the elbow comes into the body, touching the ribs. And when you do this shoulder press, because now the weight is coming farther away from the midline, the opposite core flank has to work harder. So here we're coming up to the minute mark. Here we go. 30 seconds, shoulder press. I'm going to alternate. One bringing the elbow out, one bringing the elbow in. If you put your thumb and fingers on the side of your body, you'll feel that the muscles are tensing, tightening up, which means they're working. Here's 5. I think I can get 6 done in the 30 seconds. Okay, plus I'm working all the muscles of the shoulder, the upper back, the outside upper back muscle. Really a great way to do treadmill exercise. I'm really surprised that I don't see this kind of stuff more often, which is the main goal, which is the main motivation for me, I lost count, to make this video, try and get this out to everyone. Okay, let's just do it again. We won't go backwards if you want, but this is the last minute, bringing us up to the 30 minutes, which is what I wanted to do. There's number 5. Good. And the last 30 seconds for this workout, doing shoulder presses while walking. Multitasking, training the muscles and the heart and the lungs, balance, coordination, agility. 5, 4, 3. I'm going to straddle. That's our 30 minutes, but I have one last thing I believe is very important. I'm going to use this as my little warm down. Because of the work that we've done above our head, it's possible that some tension, some stress has been created in this ring, including the chest and the ribs and the upper back. So I made a video yesterday and I uploaded it to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is called Centered Fitness, C-E-N-T-E-R-E-D Fitness. And this specific video that will teach you using a foam roller how to release the tension is called Releasing Tension in the Back and Neck Using a Foam Roller. So I sincerely suggest you watch that video and use that as another tool to maintain your body and to help release